DaVinci Resolve 21 Beta is now out. In this video, we'll be looking at all the new features that are available in the free version. If you're considering downloading the 21 Beta, there's a shortcut in the description of this video. But remember to do a backup of all of your project library. And if you're not 100% confident in doing a backup of your project library, check out the videos on this channel. There is a video called Backup, and that holds all the information that you need. So we'll get started. The first new feature for the free version is the Timeline Tracks Index. If you're working on a project and the tracks on your timeline are starting to become a bit complicated and messy, what you can do with the new feature is go to Index, and then there's a new tab called Tracks. And if you click on that, it gives you a graphical representation of all the tracks, audio and visual, on your timeline. And the first thing that you can do, where this eye symbol is, if you click on that, it makes that track invisible on your timeline. And if we want to edit and mess about with video 1, we can click on that and it just shows video 1. And not only can you make the tracks disappear temporarily, you can also lock them from here as well. Instead of having to push your way up and down your timeline, you can do all the disabling from there. Same for disabling your tracks, video and audio. So it's a handy way of manipulating your timeline and making it easier to edit and mess about with an individual track. The next addition to the free version is the fonts browser. So if I drag a text box and a text plus box onto our timeline, we'll close off the effects and then we'll highlight the text box and go to Inspector. Now what we can do normally is change the font from here, and you get a little bit of a view of what the font looks like. But we've got a new icon, a new feature in 21 Beta, and if you click on that, it's a font browser. We get this box, and you can scroll up and down all of the fonts, and it'll show you a sentence that's been written in that font to give you an idea as to what you would like. And if you've seen a few, you can click on the star, and that adds that into your favorites. And we'll add that one, and say that one and that one. Now if we go to the next box, all we have to look at is the favorites. So if there are fonts that we're using quite regularly, we can stick them in favorites, and then it's a quick click to find them. The next tool along is small, medium and large. So if we drag it to the left, you get the font in a small view, and you move it to the middle and it makes it medium, and if you move it this way it becomes large, just to help you to decide what you want. And you can have a thumbnail view, so you can see the fonts in a box. You can have it in a list view, as I've already seen. You can search for fonts. So if I typed in Arial, it would give us all the fonts that had Arial in the name. The next icon is dark and light. So you can click it into light mode so you can see what it looks like with black text on white. Or you can have it in dark mode and you can see what it looks like with a dark background and light characters. And the next icon along is the filter. There you can filter by classification, monospace, serif, script, that type of thing. Or you can do it by weight, i.e. thin, bold, extra bold. So all of the fonts that have an extra bold feature. And on the last icon, we've got options. So if you click on that, You can display the default text, which is this, or if you want to put in your own custom text, and if you OK that, that's what we get. Get rid of the filters. And you can see bite-sized guide in every font. And if you want to get rid of that and type in something else, you go to the same icon, reset user custom text. Click that and it goes back. So you're able to type in a new one. So the next new addition to 21 beta is a spell checker. So we're on the edit page and we've got a text file and a text plus file. If we highlight the text file to start off with, the standard one, drag our playhead over it, and we go to Inspector and we type something in, DaVinci, yes, we've spelt it wrong, and now we get a red squiggly line. And if we right click it, it gives us some suggestions. And there we go. And if we highlight text plus and drag our playhead over that, and we type in another television, spelled wrong. And again, we get the red squiggly line of shame, spelling it wrong. But now what we can do, because this is a text plus file, we can go to transform and we're going to do fusion overlay. And now we actually get a red squiggly line on our display. And we can treat that in the same way as we would treat this. So we can do a right click and spell it correctly, please. Television. I have to be honest with you, I didn't actually realise that it wasn't there, the spell checker, until it was pointed out that it's new. It's just dawned on me that there wasn't a spell checker there before in the first place. But there you go. It's there now, and it's very useful. Our next free addition to 21 beta is the estimated file size. So we're on the edit page and we've got a project loaded onto our timeline ready to be exported. And if we go to the delivery page, this all looks fairly standard. Doesn't look as if it's changed much, if at all. But the one difference is we now have estimated file size. So it's giving you an estimated size of the file after it's been rendered. And you can actually alter it on the fly and it will change it to whatever it thinks the file size will be at the end of the render. So if I go to MP4 H264 instead of H265, you can see the estimated file size has gone down. And if I decide to increase the time resolution, I can change it. From 1080p, we're going to change it to 4K. And now the file size is 47.6 gigabytes. So it gives you the opportunity to change settings before you render your video. Another small addition is the clip duration. So with our project loaded onto our timeline, we previously had a timeline duration. That's the duration of the whole of the timeline. 22 minutes, 42.2 seconds. But now we can also, if we right click on that, we can also do clip duration. So if we click on that and you want to know the exact time of a specific clip, with that set, you can now click onto a clip and it tells you exactly how long that individual clip lasts. Another small tweak is the fade in and out handles on your clip. With the clip pulled down to its minimum height, you now have the fade in and out handles, whereas before, what you'd have to do is increase the size of your track before the handles appeared for you to be able to manipulate them. Now they work at the very minimum height, so it saves a bit of messing. The biggest addition to the new free version of DaVinci Resolve is the new photo page. The new photo page is a photo editing application that allows you to alter, organise, filter and grade your photographs. It opens up more creative possibilities than standard still image editing because it's integrated into the rest of DaVinci Resolve's pages, effects and toolsets. I've opened up DaVinci Resolve 21 at the brand new photo page and I've imported a group of still images that I've taken. At first glance, you can see there are similar parallels between this page and previous pages. We still have media pool, effects, we have the inspector, but down below, instead of having our timeline, we have create an album. And if I grab my stills and drag them onto this area, it populates it in a very similar way to what would happen if you pulled in video clips onto a timeline. Instead of having a timeline of consecutive video clips, we have a string of photographs. And from here, we can change the properties of our photographs. We can color correct, we can crop, we can extract metadata, we can do quick exports, we can organize our photographs, we can categorize and group, and we can work on our photographs not only in the photo page, but also we can flip over to the color page and do color grading, and we can go to the edit page and we can convert it to a timeline and export it as a very quick slideshow. There are a lot of possibilities. It's a very useful and long overdue application. And if you want to learn more about the photo page and how to use it in more detail, check out this dedicated video that breaks down everything on the photo page and explains it in detail. I'm Phil, and this is Bite Size Guide. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.